Hi, my name is Vicki Davis and I teach 7th grade math at Irma Middle School.
And I'm Erin Henderson. I teach math at Dutch Fork High School.
Over the summer, we took a course on secondary mathematics engagement strategies, and we discussed the 21st century skills and instructional strategies that we should be using in our classroom.
These are the top 6 that we found that produced the most gain in student learning. The first one produced a 45% gain with identifying similarities and differences.
There was a 34% gain for summarizing and note-taking.
29% gain in effort and recognition.
28% gain for homework and practice.
27% gain for non-linguistic representations.
And 27% for cooperative learning. We would like to take you through a couple of websites that encompass all of these strategies into just a few strategies.
Yeah. Our first one we want to talk about is graphic organizers for math. We will give you the link to this website at the end of the PowerPoint, but we found this to be very helpful in our class, especially for identifying similarities and differences. With this link, we found that this top section here, these links were not active, so don't use those. But if you scroll down, then all of these links down here are set up, lost my mouse, there we are set up according to different math courses and the curriculum within there. So if you need something for multiplying and dividing rational expressions, you've got all different types, if you click on the link, of different graphic organizers to use. I noticed when I went through these, some of them are already filled out for you and some of them are blank, and some of them have multiple graphic organizers for one concept. So it's just a matter of going through and playing with the website to find exactly what you need. So they have trig, matrices, and then it jumps down into some geometry concepts. And then going through those. And then it ends with some calculus concepts. So this website could be very helpful all the way from pre-algebra through calculus. And then there are just a list of generic graphic organizers that are not content specific at the bottom of the page if you prefer to use something like that.
And for the 34% gain that has been recorded for summarizing and note-taking, I like the interactive student notebook. This is going to be new for me this year. However, Chapin Middle School teachers have been using this. This is a link to a PowerPoint by Candace Walsh of Longleaf Middle School in Richland 2. This talks about the process on how to set up the interactive student notebook. There's a left side and a right side. I like the left side for learning, the right side for reflection, but this PowerPoint talks about the right side being the input information from the teacher, and the left side for being the output from the student. And these are all the different ways that they can show you that they are learning the concepts that you've been teaching in class. They can use colored pencils to make drawings. They can glue in foldables, any type of little handout that you want to give them to tape in or glue into their notebook.
The graphic organizers as well, if you want to have them glue in. And I would suggest, if any of you guys out there are Pinterest junkies like I am, when you go into Pinterest, just search for interactive student notebooks. You will be amazed as to what's out there and the creativity that people have already done in making these.
Right. If you look under the categories, there's an education category, and that's where we've been finding a lot of images and information. This is a Math Techniques and Strategies website. The link is also included in the PowerPoint. But this is what an interactive student notebook would look like with some things glued into it. There's a section here for vocabulary cards, little flaps for the foldables. We have, oh no, hang on a second, I lost it. There's some more images of things that they've put into the interactive student notebook. Spinners. Here's a factor tree that someone has made, prime factors. More foldables. This looks like a cube, and some properties of the cube. Here are properties of some dimension, two and three-dimensional objects. Okay. And this looks like a fun way for the students to take notes and keep up with their notes. Of course, the interactive student notebook is graded, and the PowerPoint, which we showed you previously, gives suggested rubrics for grading the interactive student notebook.
Next, I want to talk about a website called edmodo.com. Some of you might be familiar with it, some of you might not. As far as the way Edmodo works, it's very similar to Facebook, except it's just for your classroom. If you've never used it, when you sign up, you just sign up under I'm a teacher. If a student is signing up, they sign up under I'm a student. But I already have an account, so I'm going to go ahead and log in under me. Taking a second. Alright, when you open up Edmodo, your space will be blank if you just start, and then you can go through and you can go into your profile and upload your picture and do your little brief comments about who you are and everything. But just the basics to get started in your class. Over here on the left hand side, you see two options. You see join and you see create. What you want to do is you want to create a class, and you'll give it a group name. Like I've named my classes Geometry CP, Geometry Honors, or first block, second block, third block, whatever you'd like to name them. The grade level that's appropriate for your class, as well as the subject area that you're using this for. And then you would just click create. When you create your class, you'll on the right hand side see a group code. And this is the code for the class that you created. What you would want to do is you would want to give this code out to your students. When they log in, they're going to click join. And then they'll just type in their group code here, and they will now be a member of your class. That way you can have a separate class for a separate page for each of your individual classes. Within Edmodo, there are several things that you can do. You can write a note to your students. An alert is kind of like a Twitter message, maximum of 140 characters. Just a really quick, hey, you have a test tomorrow, remember to study. One thing I found that would be the best use of Edmodo was this assignment tab. Within the assignment, you have to give it a title. You can give it a description, a due date, if you'd like to attach a file or a hyperlink, or if there's something you've put in your library you want them to do, and then you can just send it to whichever group of students individually or as a class as a whole. And I'll show you some examples of assignments that I sent and what they look like. It'll show up to them, with the due date. And this was their Chapter 9 review packet, reminding them that they have a test on Friday as well, and that their video packet is also due. I posted an answer key to a review so they could go through and check their answers. I expected the students, if they had questions, to post them on Edmodo, so I knew to address them, such as there was a project here, and Kiki had a question about, can you please clear up how to use the stories in the pop-up books? So I knew first thing when she walked in the next day, I needed to address that with her. This is fantastic for homework questions as well, so you don't spend 30 minutes going over a homework assignment that no one has questions on. And that way you can just kind of really go through and pick and choose where your students need to be. Also, within this Manage tab on the right, there are several really good features here. As far as the effort and recognition goes, this is a fantastic place to implement that. if you click on a student, so we'll go back to Kiki. So I click on Kiki here. I can see some things about her. I can see her username. And if she forgets her password, I can change her password for her. As you see, Renee is in here twice. Renee forgot her password and created a new one. So she's now in my class twice. So I would suggest that you encourage your students to change password with you. Also, there's a parent code. This would be, instead of using the class code, you can use a parent code that's individual for each student. And then the parents can join with this code and see all communication between you, your student, and the parent. So it's also a really good way to keep in contact with parents. For recognition, this award badge tab here is fantastic. In here, Edmodo already has some badges created. Good citizen, good question, hard worker, and you just click on one and you can add it to that student's site, and therefore they know that they're right where they need to be. If these aren't ones that you like, you can create a new badge very easily. New badge. And give it a title, a description, upload a picture for it, and then just create it. And then it would be under My Student badges, and you can use those for your students as well. So I have found Edmodo to be a fantastic tool for homework and practice, for effort and recognition, as well as for parent communication.
Another idea that we'd like to share with you is project-based learning. Project-based learning is also good for the homework and practice instructional strategy, as well as increasing your percentages for cooperative learning. The West Virginia Department of Education has a really good website for Teach 21. We've included this link also in the PowerPoint. There are subject-specific projects. I've selected mathematics, and then they've given projects for, they've offered projects anywhere from 3rd grade all the way up to calculus. So we're going to select geometry and just take a look at some of these projects. I really like this website because of all of the resources and ideas that they give you. They give you a title, the source, the project idea, the entry event, power standards. It does not look like they've added the Common Core standards yet, but with some of the mapping and curriculum writing that we're doing, it should be fairly easy to match these content standards and objectives. 21st century skills, which is what you'll be hearing a lot of. Information and communication, thinking and reasoning, personal workspace skills, performance objectives. Here's the driving question that the students are going to have to answer through the project. How you would assess, this is the assessment plan. Group products and individual projects, assessment and reflections, so rubrics for those. And I also like this mapping section. This is what the students already have learned. This is what should be taught before the project, and then they have a column for what should be taught during the project. And then they give links and items for the different resources. This is week 1, what should be done during week 1 for managing your process. Week 2, this particular project. There's a week 3, week 4. Looks like week 4 the students are going to complete the floor plan and work together as a group to plan the presentation. The final project will be presented to members of the Community Service Alliance. So you could have parents come in and have the students present while parents are in the room, or community members, or teachers in other subject areas. Resource files that you might need. Some of the projects also, where it tells you what you're going to need, it also tells you who you might need help from. I found a project that requires